Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot. And Matt had a little delayed thing. Oh, and there he is. All right, cool. I'm testing out a new system here, so let me know if audio's coming in all good and clear. I think I made all the images on either side of me look nicey nice today. So let's try this again. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm here with my co-pilots. I've got Matt O'Leary and Green Bean, the Jets fan. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Yeah. Doing pretty good. Excited to talk about the offense. Not so excited to talk about the defense, which stinks. But I always love hanging out with you guys, so that's a major plus.
Green Bean, how about you? Where are you at in the world today?
Did you know that our defense only gave up 9 points in 2 consecutive second half games combined? I'm ready to talk about defense all day, Matt O'Leary. I'm psyched.
All right. See, this is exciting. Look at everyone in the chat already. We got Benji, Justin Jets, Canned Rule, Jerry, Adam S, Manny, Roman, Mike, Chernock, Patrick Dunn, Joseph, Hank, all you guys. Matt Curtis is in the chat. John Post, Isaac, Extra, Daniel. Awesome. All right, boys and girls, the New York Jets fall to the Philadelphia Eagles 33-18 in this past week's game. So I want to get our thoughts. We'll go around the board a little bit. I definitely, going into the season, I felt like if there was going to be one way for us to lose that I would be okay with, that would be by way of defense, because we haven't spent a whole lot of money or draft picks on the defensive side. I wanted to see the offensive line play well. I want to see the running backs play well. I want to see the receivers play well. I want to see, obviously, Zach Wilson play well. And with all that said, that's exactly what we got. I think Zach Wilson played well for the most part. You could nitpick some things, but overall, I thought this was probably one of his best performances, if not his best. So yeah, look, overall, I'm pretty happy. Not happy with the loss, but pretty happy nonetheless. Matt, what are your thoughts on this past game?
So the first half was a lot of fun with the offense just marching right down the field. And look, man, 3 touchdowns is 3 touchdowns in the first half. That's great. You can't ask for too much better. Defense couldn't stop anyone. I think I said this on Green Bean's halftime show over on Jets Nation. The Jets act every single week like they've never seen a screen pass in their life. I don't understand it. And then they just ignore the tight end. It's unbelievable. But the offense was a lot of fun. And I just really can't stand the criticism of the offense in the second half when they only had 1 possession. They had the ball 70 seconds in the third quarter, but apparently they didn't do enough in the second half. So I think we're getting a little too nitpicky in some areas, but I think it's super intriguing to see our young quarterback do something like that in the first half, something he's been so notoriously slow at in weeks gone by.
Green Bean, what about you? How you feeling about this past week?
You know, Matt O'Leary came on the Jet Nation live stream and he gave a prediction as we went into the second half. And he got me, Ryan. He got me. I went right with it. I talked about it for the next 5 minutes or so. He said final score would be 45-40 Jets. And I think it could have happened. I really do. Now, the defense, look, like we said, like Matt just nailed it. It's crazy how the problem we had week 1 where we were just eaten alive by Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? We were like, oh, well, you can't stop C-Mac. And on and on. And we're still here looking at this situation where we don't know how to do it. And we can't cover tight ends coming off their blocks. Like we can't seem to do that simple stuff. Now, that all said, and I say it jokingly because the defense still gave up, 250 passing and 200 rushing. And so there's a lot of problems there. But the truth is that they gave up 24 points in the first half and they gave up 9 in the second half. And if we continue to play like we played in the first half offensively, we win that game. So they did enough, and they did it the week before too with pitching a second half shutout. So there is progress there. And I'm going to choose to look at it because this year is is just not about wins and losses. It's not, and I'm just as frustrated as everybody else. But Ryan, you nailed it, and this is really what I'm hanging my hat on. When the season started, we all said that because of all the resources we put into the offense, more than likely they're going to be ahead of the defense, and we're hoping to lose some shootouts. You know, a defense can't stop anybody, the offense can't be stopped, so to speak. And that was what we started to see. Now, Zach hasn't been able to put together a full game yet, but man, anybody saying that he didn't come out and look good and then looked good in the fourth quarter again. Yep. Anybody saying that is just like, I think Joe Caparozzo said, he said, if you're still trying to make this about Zach, you need to just own up that you don't like him. Like, and I think that's really well said. And you guys know I was never a rah-rah Zach guy, but I like Zach. And I'm happy we picked him, and I think he's got talent. And I was happy with that game, man. But let me tell you, when you run down there and score 3 consecutive touchdowns and you're down by 3 because you can't make extra points, that takes the wind out of your sails. It ruins that momentum, that positive vibe that you can have. And I think that's what really started. But by and large, I'm really happy with Zach. I'm happy with Elijah Moore. I'm happy with our offensive line. I'm happy with a lot that's going on this Jets team. And the defense, like I said, while I'm not upset, I'm not happy. I did see progress there in the second half too, man. They gave up 9 points. You know, what do you want?
Yeah, I mean, look, defensively, I'm definitely bummed that we're giving up like a lot of points and we're not stopping people and they're just able to run all over us or do what they want, have their way with us. But the fact remains, look, LaMarcus Joyner, Carl Lawson, Vinny Curry, all the guys we spent money on this offseason were all unavailable for the entirety of this season. So there's like all the firepower. And we talked about it before on the show. The Jets have $32 million in dead cap. We're still paying Trumaine Johnson. We're still paying 𝐒𝐿 Like there's $32 million worth of potential improvement on this team is missing. So we're kind of playing with a little bit like 2 arms tied behind our back. But yeah, like Green Bean said, look, I'm excited for where this team is headed. We'll get into it in just a few minutes with Corey Davis going out for the season, but I like what we're getting out of Elijah Moore, and I like some of the young pieces here. Braxton Berrios has done an awesome job on kick returns. I think he would be a worthwhile return for us next year. And look, I still really like Crowder. I don't know what I would do with Crowder or what I want to would be willing to pay him. I don't want to overpay by any stretch of the imagination, but I would like to see this guy back. He's probably our most reliable receiver on a play in, play out basis. Although I will admit that is definitely quickly approaching Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore has been absolutely fantastic the last 5 or 6 games. Matt, what are your thoughts on how Elijah Moore has developed so far?
It's been phenomenal. I think he's been unbelievable for this team over the last 6 games or so. I mean, he's dynamic with the football. His route running, I think, is maybe what I'm most impressed with. There's times where it looks like maybe he should have came up with that one. The hands might come a little bit later, but just looking at the pristine route running ability and what he does with the ball in his hands, I think LaFleur is smart to get him touches on things like those little, shovel passes where he comes from, one side to the other, and Zach or whoever the quarterback is kind of just flipped it to him and you let him run, because when the ball's in his hands, good things happen. And I mean, he is going to be this team's number 1 receiver with Corey Davis out. He's going to be a target hog even more so. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think he's, showing the kind of talent we all thought he had from training camp in the preseason. Now we're seeing it at the NFL level and in real games. And it's so much fun to watch.
Green Bean, what about you? How are you feeling about Elijah Moore?
Outside of the drops, I love him. Now, and it's just one of those things, man. We have a young group of guys, in particular this year's rookie class, but even on top of that, guys that are in their second year, namely Bryce Hall, Javelin Guidry, and those guys. You can see the talent. You can see their ability. but they can't seem to put it together for that whole game yet. And a lot of that comes from the energy that is the Jets. You know what I mean? Like one of the things I really liked was how Saleh started to really like have enough. Enough is enough. And he's screaming and yelling, throwing shit. He's out in the middle of the field yelling, the center, the center. Like he's had it. He's had it because you can't come to the New York Jets and think that you're going to do things as you would for the Niners, for example. It's not going to work the same way. We need more here. You're going to have to overcome more. There's a black cloud. What is it? I don't know what it is, but it's real. Whatever it is, the injuries are worse here. The negativity is worse here. The ball bounces the wrong way more here. We don't get the calls the same way here. And so things are going to happen. And we're going to have to put more into this. And I think Saleh's seeing that. But where that applies to guys like Elijah Moore, Zach Wilson, is that it's going to take perseverance. It's going to take understanding that progress is progress. There are so many Jets fans. I talked to hundreds of them. There's one in the chat trying to educate me right now. And I really do appreciate it because I don't know very much. So thank you. I appreciate it sincerely. So it's like when you look at guys like this, progress is progress. And when there is progress, I choose to stop there. If I see legitimate progress, I stop there. I don't go, there was progress, but blah, 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 blah. No, progress is progress. This is rookie year. It's rookie year with staff. It's rookie year with players. It's rookie years with systems. Now, I'm not going to tell you I'm happy. I'm not happy. It's fucking aggravating, man. It's aggravating to watch this stuff. At the same time, when you watch a guy like Elijah Moore, who has gotten progressively better throughout the season, even though he had a really bad drop, Crowder had a bad drop, it was all over the place. Even though that happens, I'm looking at a receiver that's starting to come into his own. And I think when he puts it together and him and Zach are actually on the same page, we have the makings of something that has the potential to be special as far as the Jets are concerned. We haven't seen that in a while. We haven't had a rookie quarterback and a rookie receiver that have this much talent grow together at the same time. We haven't seen that. Add to it a rookie running back. Granted, we haven't seen him in a couple weeks, but that guy's a stud. I don't care. You can see the difference. Michael Carter is legit. AVT, he's legit. So we have these young guys that are starting to put things together. And quite frankly, that's where I stop. This season was never going to be about wins and losses. We hoped, sure. I would love a Cinderella playoff run. I didn't think that was real. None of us really did. We were hoping for an improvement season, and I'm seeing it. And Elijah Moore is at the front of that for me.
Yeah, dude, it's interesting. Interesting from the receiver position, right? Like, we're all excited about Elijah Moore. We're frustrated with everything that's gone on with Corey Davis this season. We're frustrated with Denzel Mims. And you want to see something. And, Green Bay, I don't know if you saw this, but over on the Jet Nation forum, one of our buddies over there, AFJF, had a interesting post.
You know who that is?
Who is it?
That's Glenn Naughton, the host of Jet Nation Radio.
Oh.
Yeah, Air Force Jet fan. That's his name.
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
See?
I like him. He's a good dude. He's good people.
Yes.
So he made a post. He said there's got to be something in the water at Florham Park. And what he says is Corey Davis's fumbles from 2017 to 2020, he had 4 on 187 receptions. That's 1 for every 46 receptions he has. This year he has 2 on 34 receptions. That's 1 for every 17. So clearly something is wrong there. Corey Davis's drops from 2017 to 2020, he had 13 drops on 338 targets. That's 1 for every 26 targets he had a drop. This year, 6 for 59. 1 for every 10 targets. And then Denzel Mims last year, 1 drop in 44 targets. This year, 3 drops in 15 targets. So I don't know what's going on, but something really wacky's happening, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan. But like Jets NY 101 says, he says, most importantly, Zach is improving. So I agree. But yeah, it's weird. Richard Delgado jumps in with a super chat. He says the Jets haven't been the same since Geno Smith got punched in the jaw. That's probably a pretty accurate timeline. Although the year he got punched in the jaw, I'm pretty sure, wasn't that the Fitz year where we wound up going on like a nice little run and we almost made the playoffs? I think it is.
Yeah. What about the 3 years before that where they sucked?
Green Bean, you know if I'm going crazy or is that actually accurate?
I didn't hear you. Well, I'm sorry. What's up?
Sorry. The Jets haven't been the same since the Geno Smith game, or the Geno Smith punch in the jaw. Was that was the year we wound up going like almost to the playoffs, right? We took Buffalo down.
Yeah,
to
we were
the,
10-6. Yeah. We were 10-6 that year.
We've been bad since just after that.
Yeah. Well, and it's look,
That's true too, Matt.
Honest to God, that was the most painful year because we actually looked like we had something. We were 10-5 going into a Buffalo team that had 2 wins, and we lost. So we didn't even get to the playoffs with guys like Fitz and Marshall who've never been to the playoffs. It was like, I think that was even worse. Honest, it was fun. It was, but it's worse. That was more painful of an ending than years like the 2 last Gase years. That year was worse for me.
You're saying the last 2 Gase years were worse for you, or that last?
No. Am I bad?
No. You're fine. Matt, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why. Which way's Matt? That's this way. Now he's gone again. he's still up in our little thing. Yeah, it's frustrating because he's perfectly fine on our video chat that we're doing. I can see him fine there. He's not glitching around. And now he's back.
Yeah,
he's back on the 3 panel now. I don't know. I don't know I don't know why you are having issues, but Green Bean of all people, who's probably in Bumble Truck nowhere. Which way? I keep pointing the wrong spot. Right in the middle of nowhere. I love how we're seeing the Freeze Matt logo.
Where is it? I want to see.
I saw. Well, so it's like it's just a chilly face that says Matt LOL by Rusty Spooner and Delusional Jets fan. I enjoy it. Sorry, Matt. Any thought? You started saying the 3 years prior to Geno Smith we sucked. So you're saying this has been a while.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I'm like cutting in or out on the call. It seems fine, but I don't know. There's a delay somewhere. Anyway. The 3 years prior, I mean, really.
Now I can't hear him on the call either.
Oh, I hear you good, Matt.
God, yeah, what is
crystal clear. Yeah, I see and hear you.
Okay, good. What I was saying, the real reason when the Jets died, or the real time, I guess, when the Jets died, was when Victor Cruz went for 99 yards, which was like 4 years earlier before Geno Smith got punched. So Richard's timeline is off a little bit here.
That's okay, Richard. We like you all the same. Patrick Dunn drops in with a super chat. Patrick says, the growth of LaFleur is what I'm most excited about. The play calling is getting better every week. Zach is starting to thrive because of it. So I completely agree. Green Bean, what are your thoughts on how LaFleur has developed throughout the season?
Yeah, I think that's another one, man. I mean, it's like I have plenty to complain about with LaFleur. I do. There are lots of things that he does, like, for example, abandoning the running game when it was working. Like, we only had 13 rushes in the whole game, most of them in the first half. Like, I understand, when they come out in the third quarter and they go up in 3, down in 3, so then that takes any potential for offense. And I get the feeling of needing to go to the passing game, but we need to be able to do certain things. I heard a great quote on by Jim Miller today. They were talking about how Joe Brady got fired. Was it necessary? Was it not? And they said that Matt Rule was telling him for weeks not to abandon the running game, and he kept doing it. And this guy was trying to justify it. And Jim Miller said this. He said, hey, when you have offensive line issues, offensive linemen do much better going forward than they do backward. You rely on the running game to settle things down. It's more than just setting up the pass. And I just love how he put that, man. So, like, for me, I have plenty to complain about with LaFleur. And it sounds like I am right now, but I'm not. But if you look at where he started this season, he was two seconds from people legitimately wanting to put his head on a spike outside the castle. Like, that's where he was. And the guy has shown that he might not be there yet, but he has the potential to be a legitimate offensive mind. And that when our offense does get together and Zach Wilson does calm down and guys aren't dropping passes, it looks like he might just be able to put something together on the field that can make us proud. So for LaFleur, another rookie, what is he, 30 years old or something like that? And he's out there improving on a weekly basis, still has plenty of warts, but he's improving. And like I said, that's kind of where I stop. I can bitch, but I don't. I think he's progressing nicely.
Fair enough. Matt, I'm going to hang up on you in our group chat. Can you try clicking on that again? I'm going to try adding you back. All right.
Cool.
So I saw his little thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, look, he's missing.
He's missing from our panel. I don't know why that happens. It's like very weird. I'm trying a new like video capture device because the Zoom links we kept using kept like lagging you guys. OBS with a video conference is not very fun to do. I don't know why.
I know it's such a shame because I love what you do with all that stuff, man. Love it. The chicken alone.
Oh, the chicken's fantastic. I got to bring the chicken in more.
I love the chicken
more frequently. I should probably keep my phone close just in case whatever I just did to Matt boots him completely. I don't think it will. I think he should be allowed back in. Look, I love the growth of LaFleur. Absolutely love it. Here we go. Here's Matt. Let's get him back in here. Bam.
Better? Worse?
Bam. Let's see if that works.
Any better? Worse?
Nope. He's popping back in. And we're back. We're live. Matt, can you hear me?
I hear you guys fine. The call is clear. I hear you and Green Bean perfectly fine, so I don't know what the issue is.
It's crazy.
I don't know. It was just like it was locking you up and freezing. Yeah. Yeah, no, it looks fine on the call. It's when it comes over to here that's just like causing me all sorts of fits. But Matt, what are your thoughts on LaFleur?
Booth LaFleur is unbelievable, man. He's been the best offensive coordinator since Chan Gailey in 2015. We were just talking about that 2015 season. It was, unbelievable what we've seen from him. I like his creativeness. He loves that play where he hands off to like the running back and then they throw it back to the left side and then Zach or whoever throws it down the field. I love it. Let's get nuts. Why not, man?
That's just it. It's one of those things where it's like, you know what? What do we got to lose? We're 3-9. I didn't have fun. Just see stuff that like works. I think that's kind of where like I get it's frustrating not to adjust like the defense because you're trying to play within a certain scheme, and I think I'm at the point where I'm sort of all right with it. Like I'd rather have these guys know what to do in the future than whatever whatever benefits we could have gotten in the short term. Like the higher draft picks, probably the better thing that has to happen. But I don't know. Interesting. And there goes Matt again. God, I really want to like figure this out. And it's like driving me loopy. For whatever reason, he keeps disappearing. Maybe I can do one of these.
Yeah, and I'm looking right at him. It's magic.
Yeah, I see him there. He's there. He's over there.
I see and hear Green Bean.
Let's go. I'm going to pull up Candle Jack's super chat, and I'm going to throw it to Green Bean to talk a little bit while I try to troubleshoot Matt's thing going on. So in my opinion, 65% of the fan base has already turned on Zach and Sal, and nothing but pessimism and cynicism online anyway. Do the Jets homers even still exist? Green Bean, your thoughts on that comment?
Yeah. Well, I love the numbers, Candle Jack. I love this stats. I like to do that too. You know what I say a lot is 99 out of 100. I say that shit all the time. But I know what you mean. I know 65% meaning more of the fan base seems negative. I would say that's accurate. I mean, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Jet Nation. I obviously have the YouTube channels. And I still drive around a lot and listen to other Jet content creators. And a lot of them are upset. That's why I don't read the papers anymore. I think that the papers try to unearth those negative storylines and try to push them out front because that's what gets people inflamed, and then they click and they read and everything else. But I think where I understand it, Jack, is that we've been going through this a long time. I mean, there are Jets fans that came in like in 2010, they got one good year of real excitement, and the team has been dog crap pretty much ever since. Like Ryan said, the 2015 year was fun. We had Chris Ivory, we had Brandon Marshall, we had Eric Decker, and that team was made for Geno Smith to have a real shot to become an NFL quarterback. And we know it started with a broken jaw, and then it ended with losing to Rex Ryan, who we just fired in week 16 or 17. So it's been tough. And when you're a Jets fan who's been doing this for 10 solid years and you've only had one good year, it wears on you. Then you get guys like myself. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I only have, I don't know, 10 good years out of that, maybe, right? So I do understand, and I think it's easier to be negative than it is to be positive. So I just think that's it's called, the low-hanging fruit is going to be the negative the negative storyline. So homers still exist. I know a whole bunch of them. I lean homer too. So there's me. You should watch my channel sometimes. I'm always trying to find the positive storyline. It's not easy, I'll tell you, but we're out here.
Matt, what about you? How are you feeling about the pessimism amongst Jet fans right now?
I'm back. Maybe.
Yeah.
It is driving me up a wall. I like to try to play it as down the middle as I possibly can. If I see something that I like, then I will talk about it. And I say, I would like this because X, Y, and Z. And if they deserve to be criticized, I will absolutely criticize them. But it very much so feels like I have this preconceived notion in my head, and I'm sticking with that no matter what, which I think that's what bugs me. And people have become very reactionary to small sample sizes and coming up with definitive answers like if Zach Wilson's a franchise quarterback or not after, I don't know, 6, 7 full starts, or if Robert Saleh can coach in this league after 10, 11 games. I don't know. That stuff just really irks me. So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, look, I can understand that. We were talking about this before. We're like, it's only 7 games. It's only 6 games. Like, give the guy a chance. This is absolutely ridiculous. I think there are certain fans that I think it's a protection thing, right? Like, I think they don't want to get so hopeful that it just comes crashing down because so many times before it has come crashing down. And I think if you wind up taking a step back and you give yourself that little bit of a, realize where we're at in this whole process. That's why I'm not upset with the defense. I don't I get there's issues and people want to fire Ulbrich. I don't like the whole fire Ulbrich thing. I think that doesn't jive right now. I'd be very upset if I wound up moving on from someone because he didn't have any sort of ammo on his side of the ball, only to find out he's actually a pretty decent coach. Like, we saw him perform well at the beginning of the season. So it's a little frustrating. Green Bean, anything more to add to that?
Yeah, it wears on you though, man. I mean, definitely. Sometimes like us three, we'll bounce it off each other, and it's tough. It's tough out there. There are guys that no matter, look, 2 weeks ago we beat the Texans. Zach had a pretty good second half. He came out of the dregs. The defense pitched a second half shutout, but it wasn't good enough. People were still negative. I'd say half of the people that were negative about this game were still negative about last week's game. So it does wear on you. Now, the thing is that I can just give advice to all Jets fans right now. Every last one of you is that we're just looking for progress. That's it. Whether it's Saleh, whether it's LaFleur, whether it's Bryce Hall, any of these guys that we're planning on having here for a while, just look for progress. If you see it, put a bow on it. And don't worry about all the other crap. They're going to learn. They're going to bump their head. They're going to make mistakes. Once you see the progress, run with it, because that's all we're looking for.
Conley drops in the super chat. Thanks so much, brother. He says the media was killing Zach's confidence. He needed this game. You could see a clear confidence shift from the Carolina postgame to the postgame versus Houston. God, I don't know. I'll be honest, I didn't watch his postgame after the Houston game. So, but I would say this. I think the New York media plays a hand in a lot of New York players' demises. I think people wind up, you always want to hear what people are saying about you, right? Look, I'll go into the YouTube comments and I'm just curious, what did people think of this video? Or what did people think of that video? What do they think of my thoughts on this? And then, like, of course I get people that are upset, and they're like, all right, look, you don't know anything. And I will admit, I guess I know nothing. I've clearly said I like certain things, and I've been wrong. And you know what? I'll own that all day. But yeah, I do think that the media, the fan base plays some type of role in all of this, because you got to think how many people are tweeting at Zach Wilson, how many people are, DMing him or whatever. Like he's probably getting hounded from all sorts of directions. So, Matt, what are your thoughts on the media's take on Zach Wilson and how that could affect his psyche and his sort of performance?
Well, I mean, you guys know how I feel about the Jets beat. There's not a single one on there that I'm really a fan of their work. I don't think they do a good job of covering the team. I think they are looking to push narratives and looking to drum up controversy for page views. That's the reality of our business. We get paid on how many people come and click on our stuff. So, I mean, the same goes for them too. So that definitely plays a role in my mind. And I think part of it is on Zach himself too. Like, I'm not putting this all on the media. I think he had to get comfortable going from college to the NFL also, because that is a massive step. BYU and the National Football League, not the same. But that's not why people wanted to draft Zach Wilson. It was because they saw the freakish arm talent and some of the intangibles that he's able to do with the ball in his hand, throwing it. And we knew it was going to be a little bit of an adjustment. And we're seeing, as the season goes on, some of the benefits or some of the, progressions that he's made. And I just think he deserves the credit of getting better, which he has.
Green Bean, what about you? How do you feel the media has sort of shifted the narrative or affected Zach's psyche? What do you think about this whole thing?
Yeah, well, I'll echo Matt's sentiments. I mean, like we've talked about before, literally the reason why I started doing this was because I found the beat to be completely unreadable, unwatchable in large part. Every now and then there's a thing here or there. I don't know if we're still going, but I'm going to keep talking. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're going. I'm trying something different to get Matt unfrozen. Sorry,
I'm like, holy
I'm screwing with everyone right now.
Yeah. So, like literally, honest to God, I found the Let's Talk Jets guys first. It was a really early incarnation of their show. I was already on Jet Nation, and then I found O'Leary back in his infancy. He was still talking about like the Mets and the Islanders and stuff. In addition to Jets. And I just saw that, and I preferred O'Leary over the Seminis, all the other guys, the Menish Maidas. I just preferred it. And I said, you know what? I started talking to Jet Nation, and long story short is we started doing this, and here we are. But that's why it started. So like I think that our beat, it's not that the New York media is so tough. You know how we have that like that perception, like, oh, the New York media, they're not tough, they're slimy, they're grimy, they're petty. That's what they are, and they do make it difficult, like Mr. Magic's just said in there, and it's really true. We don't need the beat to tell us where the problems are. Like, we can see that the Jets have not been good, like we can see that. But taking it that extra step and like rubbing guys' noses in it, digging out the pain just for those gotcha moments and all that stuff, I don't think that helps. And let me tell you, markets like Pittsburgh, like the Ravens, like even Cleveland, man, they're not like that. Even though they could be losing or whatever, they don't do the same things to their players that we do. So, and then you got the fan base, like you said. I'm telling you, I see it, man. People are definitely tweeting to Zach, you're a loser, you suck, nice pick, all that kind of shit. And we don't help the situation. That all said, if they just put it together and win, we wouldn't be dealing with all this shit, I imagine. But I don't think that our locale and everything that comes with it helps the situation at all.
Sorry, I'm changing things around. I got Matt back on the screen. He's not as crystal clear as he was before, but he's still there, and we can hear him. So it works out. Yeah, look, the media plays a big factor in this, and they're just a bunch of jerks, and it's the reason all of us started our YouTube channels. Let's be honest. We were so sick of everything that we got from our beat, and they can all pound sand. All right, let's see. I saw some other comments in here. This is what happens when I'm like screwing around with everything. Let's see. Ibrahima John. I see Kyle. Who am I getting to? I got to get to Naim. Let's see. I saw it in here. There we go. Okay. So, Naim Laster, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, if you could be the GM for this upcoming draft, what would your picks be? Also, I think the Jets coaches are fine, just need time, growth, and a good draft. So, let's talk. I love talking the NFL draft. This gets me excited. It always comes up every single stream. Woo! I think I also put NFL draft in the title, too, so there's probably a little bit of that.
There you go.
But, yeah, look, so I do think the coaches are fine. And a lot of people are going to say, hey, the quarterback, maybe he's not developing, or maybe prior to this game, the quarterback's not developing, whatever. I would argue, and I would say, look, we have seen progress from Zach Wilson, but we've seen Josh Johnson, we've seen Mike White, we've seen Joe Flacco all perform well in this offense. So that means LaFleur is doing his job in terms of getting the quarterbacks ready and implementing a game plan that's going to work. Then the other rookies, Elijah Vera Tucker, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, Brandon Eccles, Michael Carter II, like all these young guys are playing well, or were playing well until injury. And I think all of that kind of gives you the nod towards coaching. So I do think we have the right coaching staff in place. I do think we have the right GM in place. If I were the GM for this upcoming draft, the Jets currently have pick 4 and pick 5. So let me pull up Tankathon real quick because I just want to see what their mock draft is currently.
You know what I'll do? I'll pull up Draft Tech too and see what they're doing, so we can do a little combo.
I like that. So we get a few different options here. Matt, if you have a particular favorite mock draft site, throw that in there, and we'll kind of do that. So right now, Tankathon has Kayvon Thibodeau going 1 to the Lions, Evan Neal going 2 to the Jags. Number 3, the Texans take Aiden Hutchinson, which feels odd to me, taking that over the quarterback, but maybe there's no quarterback worthy of taking it. But they actually have the Giants taking Matt Corral at number 7. So I don't understand Tankathon. It's clear as day. They have the Jets taking Derek Stingley. I will say this. I don't want to take Derek Stingley in the top of this draft. I would very much pass on him for any other player. And there was a thread on the Jet Nation forums talking about Kyle Hamilton. And I think if Hutchinson and Thibodeau are both off the board, I'm probably going Kyle Hamilton at one of those 2 picks. And then I'm probably split somewhere between, like, and it's going to sound more like a cop-out, but like a Linderbaum, a Kenyon Green, and a George Karlaftis pick. So I don't particularly feel the need to go offense. I'd rather, like, ideally in my head, if I can get Aiden Hutchinson and Hamilton, I think that's probably the route I'm going to go. And I would try to fulfill the center need either in the 2nd or the 3rd round. Green Bean, what are you seeing over on Draft Tech?
That's interesting. Number 1, they have Aiden Hutchinson moving into the 1st spot, which if that's going to happen, this is the week. You know what I mean? Like this, Aiden Hutchinson's stock has improved dramatically, and I think rightfully so. So they have then they have Matt Corral going 2nd to Houston. Then they have Evan Neal going to Jacksonville. Which could be good for T-Law. Then with us, they have Thibodeau sliding back to us at 4, which would be a dream come true. And then this is interesting. I haven't seen this guy mocked to us yet, but Charles Cross, a 6'5", 300-pound offensive tackle, going to us at number 5.
Interesting,
right? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Where does Hamilton go? To the Giants at 7. Interesting.
So what would you do, Green Bean?
What I would do is I would look to take one player there, and I'd be looking to trade back. So so Matt Corral goes to 2, goes at 2. I'm looking to see whoever wants to jump up for a quarterback without sliding back too far. I'm recouping whatever I can, a first next year for 2 firsts, whatever it is, and as best I can, and then I'm going to draft a guy. My hope is Thibodeau or Hutchinson are there. I want an edge there. Immediately following that If I can't trade back, I would really want Kyle Hamilton and Thibodeau or Hutchinson. I think that would be a best case scenario. If Hamilton's gone, we get the edge rusher and we can't trade. I'm probably looking for I don't love the rest of the guys there. Like I don't love Stingley. I don't want to take Ahmed Gardner that high. But I look, all right, I might take Gardner because we need a cornerback, or I might just buckle down and grab an offensive tackle, the right tackle.
Okay. Matt, what about you? What site did you wind up pulling up?
So I pulled up CBS, and like Green Beans, Aiden Hutchinson is the first pick. Then at number 2, Jacksonville, they have taking the NC State tackle, 𝐒𝐿𝐞𝐞𝐫𝐢. Then sorry, I got confused. Matt Corral, pick 3 to the Texans. They have the Jets going Evan Neal and then Kayvon Thibodeau 5.
All right. I'd sign up for that all day.
Yeah.
If Thibodeau's there, if one of Thibodeau or Hutchinson is there, then I think that's the pick. But I think those two go number 1 and number 2. I personally would probably go Karlaftis and then Linderbaum.
Yeah, Karlaftis is just as good, man. I mean, he's right in that same conversation, dude. His problem is he's been a little bit injury prone. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that say Karlaftis might actually end up being the better pro out of him and Hutchinson.
I like Karlaftis a lot. Yeah, I think he's he's not as like speedy off the line, but he's just like a power edge, I feel like.
Yeah, he's nasty. You like him, Ryan. You're gonna dig into these guys and stuff. When you look at Karlaftis, you're gonna like him.
Well, I'm excited. You've got me with a big old green chubby. All right. V-Man jumps in with the super chat. Sorry, we're just catching up on all these things. V-Man says, off topic, moment of silence for the 80th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Moment of silence. Good looks, V-Man, on keeping us aware. History lesson. V-Man's always good for that. Kyle Ormsby drops in with a super chat. Says, if Thibodeau and Hutchinson are both gone by the Jets picks, who do we go after? We need D-end and another pick on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, edge and safety would probably be my 2 picks. I do like the idea of trading down for sure. I would like a defense-heavy draft, and I would be fine with linemen. So, like, offensive line, edge, and safety. Those are probably the 3 areas I'd look. I don't think there's a linebacker right now that jumps off the page at me as one that I'd really want. Like, if you could tell me that I could get someone like a Michael Parsons, I would absolutely pull the trigger at one of those slots. I think he is absolutely phenomenal. I think he's the closest thing we've seen to, like, well, I shouldn't say that because people are going to get mad. I heard them talking about the whole LT comparison, but he's only in his rookie year. But I like him. I think he's incredibly versatile and is poised for a really good career down in Dallas. Green Bean, what about you? If both edges are gone, who are you taking?
Yeah, you know what? That's really a good point. I spaced completely on linebacker, and I like a bunch of them. There's like 4 or 5 that I really like. Up top, it's Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean. But there's another guy, Papau, that I like. I like Christian Harris, even though he's raw. I like Muma. So if I could get, like, let's say I get Aiden Hutchinson and like Devin Lloyd, I think that would be a slam dunk as well. I would love that, or Nakobe Dean for that matter.
Matt, what about you? If Thibodeau and Hutchinson are both gone, you think you're going with the Karlaftis and Linderbaum picks? That's your play?
Yeah, I'm going with the Greek freak. Yep, I'm going with the Greek freak, Karlaftis. And then I'd probably look to add a linebacker and safety with the 2nd round picks. I'm still a fan of going back to the offense with one of the first, and then you can go on your run of defense a little bit after that. But I'm not someone who's saying, oh, like the first 6 picks have to be defense or whatever it is. And obviously it's dependent on how the board breaks, but there are linebackers that I like who will probably be there at the top of the 2nd. I'm blanking on his name, but there's a guy from Penn State who I think will be around for one of the Jets' second round picks.
Oops, sorry, I just clicked off of this.
Uh-oh.
I would say I like the idea of going safety because I think that if Hamilton is a legit blue chipper, like I don't think I would have said that Jamal Adams was a blue chipper, by the time we traded him. This guy, I think, if he's the ball hawk, the Ed Reed style safety, I think that kind of impact would mean more to me than Linderbaum over like the second center that you might take in the second round. I think that's probably the only reason I'd probably err on that side. Ibrahima John drops in with a super chat. He says, if the Jets do the smart thing and trade 4th overall for 12, 13, and 17, what players do you like at 5, 12, 13, and 17 for the Jets? Why on earth would the Eagles do that? The Eagles are not going to trade 12, 13, and 17 to go up and get 4th overall. They have their quarterback.
What if they do?
Well, if they do. Okay, let's play the what-if game. I can play the what-if game. I think it's completely irrational, my friend. But if that's the case, the Jets have 5. I guess I probably go Carl. I don't even know. Like this, it's so hard. I'll say positions. If I could go edge rusher, linebacker, offensive line, those would be my 3. Oh, those would be 3 of the picks. Then we got a 4th pick. Jesus Christ. Offensive line, and then I would go safety, edge, offensive line, and linebacker. Right? Those would be my top 4. I don't think there's a tight end worthy going that high right now. Greeny, what about you? If the Jets had 4 first-round picks all before pick 17, what would you do?
Oh my God, I would love it. I would have so much fun. I would take the top pass rusher on the board. I struggle to think. I know the hype's high, but I struggle to think that Aiden Hutchinson's going to pass Thibodeau on that pass rusher board, and I still think quarterbacks are going to go high. So I think I would like to see the top edge rusher. I would love to see Kyle Hamilton, and then I'd like to see a linebacker and Linderbaum or one of the tackles. So that would be absolutely destructive first round if we could pull that off. And I would do it in a heartbeat.
Matt, what about you? Who you taking with our top 4 picks at 5, 12, 13, and 17 in this scenario?
So I'm probably still going with my guy Karlaftis at 5, but at 12, 13, 17, could I give you positions instead?
Yeah.
I would say one of the two linebackers in one of those spots. And then I'd probably say maybe one of the corners. I don't know if Stingley's going to make it to 12, but I'd be looking at a corner potentially because you have 4 picks now. And then I might want to go with one of those dynamic receivers. I know that's kind of outside the box for us. Jets usually don't take a wide receiver in the first round, but if you have 4 and with the talent level that's there, who's going to be sitting around over there, I would not be mad at all with landing I don't know, Quinnen Williams, someone like that.
Okay.
Wait,
but
so I'm not
Jets...
really Sorry, Greenbean.
I'm just I'm sorry. Just on the receiver thing. Do you think that we're going to go with another tall receiver, or are we going with a little tiny guy like an 𝐒𝐿? Not tiny, but you know what I mean. Like a more of an Elijah Moore kind of quick through the routes kind of guy for this offense. Do you see them kind of? Remember, every receiver Joe Douglas drafted before this year was 6'2" and above, and now they're going with this kind of smaller, quicker type of receiver. Do you think he's going to go big, or do you think he's going to pull one of these little guys out?
I think you still need some type of a jump ball threat. I don't know if you can always go with the small guy. Or maybe they try to go that route with the tight end. Maybe tight end is their big body. I don't know. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of see what Greenbean's trying to get at here. I think they would probably want to go for a bigger guy who can play and kind of complement what Moore is. And with Davis's injuries, and they're just, I don't know, whatever it is with Mims, they just don't seem to have that guy. So if they want to go with a bigger, like I was just looked it up because I was curious. Williams is 6'2", so that's not huge,
Yeah.
but that's like a bigger than Elijah
Yeah.
Moore. But I think I don't know. I don't think they could really be picky or go wrong in either spot. Like if they want to go all out on speed, fine, that'd be a lot of fun. But then if you could also sell me on wanting to get that contested catch guy because you already have that speed with Elijah Moore. So I kind of see both sides here, honestly.
John drops in with the super chat. He says Wilson has all the talent, will benefit greatly from a full offseason to study the offense and settle down. Big body, wide receiver, tight end, and a bruiser at running back. If Michael Carter and Ty Johnson can be two of our backs, and then maybe you go out and you get some kind of, I don't know if I'd necessarily want to, I mean, I guess I could draft a running back. I'd probably want to see who's available on the market. But someone that can be the thunder to the lightning that is Ty Johnson and Michael Carter, I think is probably important somewhere around the line of scrimmage. What about you, Green Bean? What are you thinking about the big body tight end, wide receiver, running back sort of thing?
Yeah, I love a big running back. Like, so if we grab, I think we should probably almost every year be grabbing a young running back. Maybe not every year, but every other year. I think we should be bringing in some young legs. I would love to see a guy like Isaiah Spiller come in 6'1". I think he's 220. So that's the kind of guy. Like, right, you got Michael Carter, shifty, and all that kind of stuff running around, and then you bring this guy in to just punch people in their jaw. That's my kind of party. So I think that would be a great idea. And I'm all about getting a tight end. We need a tight end.
Matt, what are your thoughts on the tight end, wide receiver, big body running back conversation?
Well, first, I think John's full of shit because he was on my comment section saying that, and I quote, Zach Wilson is trash. So I don't know where this turnaround is coming from here, but I agree they definitely need to draft a tight end and also sign one in free agency. And I don't know about a bruising running back. I don't think that's what this offense is really looking for. So
interesting. RJ McPot drops in with a super chat. RJ says we need to pump the propaganda machine that these quarterbacks are great. Best case is we get first dibs on the best non-quarterback. Worst case is a haul via trade back. So I think we, as a fan base and content creators, need to push this whole quarterback narrative and say, oh, man, these guys are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
If there's any influence that us stupid little small town, video makers can do, maybe it's create enough of a whirlwind that these guys get picked ahead of us. Green Bean, your thoughts?
I love it. I'm in. I'll help. I doubt I'll have any impact whatsoever, but if I can push this 1% of 1%, then I'll have done my part. Let's push those quarterbacks up top. I'm in. I'll do that. I think that would help us immensely. In addition to Detroit and Texans winning a couple games, I'd love it to be able to fight with them for the first overall pick too. Let's not forget we're still in this thing.
So we've got, let me just get this right. We have Houston Talk 24/7, Matt O'Leary, HOU, and Green Bean Texans fan accounts all on lock right now, and we are going to figure out a way to make these quarterbacks rise up the board. I love it, Matt. Any thoughts on this propaganda machine we could potentially create?
Yeah, I'm all in on this, man. I think I'm going to try. Who is it on Twitter? NYJ Matt, I think, who gets on all those Reddit threads and like trolls the different fan bases. I think we need to start doing that. Talk up Matt Corral and stuff like that. I'm all in.
That's it.
That would just be fantastic. Kostas drops in with a super chat. He says, what about Linderbaum? I like Karlaftis too. Yeah, I think all three of us, if both our picks were Karlaftis and Linderbaum, I think we're walking away happy with this first round. I don't think we're upset with either of those selections. Matt, any thoughts? I mean, obviously you've picked them before.
Yeah, I like both of those guys. Unfortunately, this is going to have to be my last one as I have to write a post game and do a post game podcast. This whole working multiple jobs thing is really kicking my ass. So I appreciate you putting up with bullshit. But yeah, I'm a big Linderbaum and Karlaftis fan, so I am all in with Kostas Katsoulis. I'm all in.
I love it, Matt. Any last words for our panel?
Sorry for the tech issues too. This was just all around bad Matt O'Leary day. I come back better next Tuesday.
I don't know if it's
There
a
you go.
you day or a me day. 'Cause Green Bean seems fine. I seem fine. I can't figure this out. But Matt, thank you so much for hopping on, and I will catch you in the group chat.
All right. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Later, Matt.
All right, Green Bean, here we go. I'm going to try and switch to our 2-camera view. And I don't know if it's going to work because I might have to add the sources. So bear with me, people. 2-camera view,
in.
and of course, it's not there. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's do this. Going to do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Sorry, I should probably get Green Bean on this screen before I start moving the comments around. But I'm already partway through it. So bam. Comments going to go down here. Let's get our boy Green Bean back in here because we can't even hear Green Bean right now. All right. Sorry, Green Bean. I didn't set this up beforehand. I meant to, and I didn't. All right. Where is Green Bean? There's Green Bean. What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, see, look. Psh. You guys didn't even notice how fast I did that. That's how good this is. Like super top secret fast editing on the fly. I've gotten pretty good at like troubleshooting stuff that's annoying, but I just wish I could keep it from continually happening. Okay. Green Bean, what do you think about Linderbaum and Karlaftis?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think anybody can say or wants to say that Linderbaum is a bad pick. My whole thing with that, like, here's the way that it breaks down for me quickly, is that you want to use the talent that's in the draft to its maximum potential, right? So if you have a position that you need and the top of the draft is stronger in one position than the other kind of smears out a little bit. You want to reach in and grab that elite player at the one position because then you can get the other position later. Even though it's a little bit of a drop off, it's less than a drop off than it is at the other position. So you want to use that. In this particular draft, there are about 5 pass rushers that are leaps and bounds ahead of the others. Now, look, the future's not written, and all sorts of guys come out of nowhere and they end up having the best career out of anybody from the 6th round. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about possibility. So I think a guy like Linderbaum is clearly the best center in the draft, the best prospect. But guys like Jared Patterson, Lindstrom, and some others, they're very, very good centers. And so you could get an Aiden Hutchinson or a Hamilton for that matter, and then not get Linderbaum to take one of those guys and then get Jared Patterson in the second. Like, you should do that, even though you might like Linderbaum more. So that all said, I'd be very happy with a draft that was Karlaftis and Linderbaum, but I wouldn't like Karlaftis if Hutchinson or Thibodeau are on the board. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think that
I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. I think a lot of us would probably be upset if that happened. Mumtaz drops in with a super chat. He says, we need to lose to New Orleans to guarantee the 4th pick. Seattle will get to 6 wins. So still stay. So, all right. Sorry, words. All right. We need to lose to New Orleans to guarantee the 4th pick. Seattle will get to 6 wins, so they still may get us a top 10 pick. If Evan Neal is on the board, we must take him. We can trade Seattle pick and move back and pick Linderbaum. I'm not sure Linderbaum gets out of the top 10. Green Bean, what are your thoughts on this?
Linderbaum's going to be there in the late teens.
Oh, you think
opinion.
so? Ooh.
Yeah. That's my thought. I could be wrong, of course.
If that's the
case.
And
it's early.
Sure. I think I like trading down. I like the idea of trading down, especially if we get a first next year. So Mumtaz, thank you so much for that. I don't want to root for losses. If we can root for wins and have Zach do well and the defense flubs it up for us and we lose, I'm okay with that for this year. But I want to see victories because I think overall for the morale of this team and this coaching staff, I think it's important to get those victories. Greeny, what about you? Are you kind of like rooting for the victory or where are you at on this?
No, I'm 100% rooting for victories. The silver lining is that the draft pick gets maintained and stuff, so I could feel good about that. But again, just like we talked about numerous times, if we can play well and see progress from the most important positions, and those are quarterback, wide receiver, the offensive line, even Michael Carter when he comes back. But even on the defense, Bryce Hall, Michael Carter the second, some guys that might be in the rotation. Huff is injured, but I want to see him. Those kinds of guys. Like if we could see progress from the guys that we feel have a good shot to be a part of this rebuild, the real part of it, I want to see progress. But if we lose, I'm not destroyed. Like some Jets fans are acting like they didn't see this. Like we're supposed to be a 10-win team. Like that's what it looks like to me, with a lot of people, not everybody. And I'm unhappy when we lose. But I still, like I said, I just want to see progress. So I'm rooting for wins, but I'm not destroyed when we lose.
I think that's a brilliant way to put it. Kyle Ormsby drops in with another super chat. He says, top linebacker to look at is Devin Lloyd, who is 6'3", 232 pounds, has 3 interceptions, 7 sacks, 22 tackles for a loss, and 100 total tackles in 12 games. That is someone I will certainly be looking at because linebacker has definitely been a big problem area for us. Greenbean, in your opinion, do you think, I guess where I'm sort of stuck is, could the value be in a really strong safety that could possibly come into the box, or is it at the linebacker position? Are Mosley and Quincy Williams that bad that they're really hurting us? Or is it something with the safeties? Because I feel like between the two linebackers and the safeties, somewhere there is where I'm, getting hung up. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if we had a good cover safety, maybe that might help us. But I don't know. Your thoughts?
Well, look, I just got into a discussion today with a guy named Cali Jets on Twitter, and he said I'm prepping for 5 months of telling people why we shouldn't take Hamilton. I said, oh, this is good to know because I'm prepping for 5 months trying to justify taking 2 safeties in the draft. Okay.
Don't do that to me.
I want look, if it's not Hamilton, I don't want another safety first round. But I would like to see Kyle Hamilton. We have 2 first-round picks. If we can come out of there with Kyle Hamilton and the edge, I'm happy. So if we take Kyle Hamilton in the first and we can get a Jordan Battle in the second, somebody that brings the wood, I would be really into that, man. Because I think if the pass rush and the back end of this defense are intact, that's when this zone thing probably will work better. Guys like Bryce Hall can cover, dude. Eccles, who I would like to see an upgrade over Eccles, but if you have a Hamilton and a Jordan Battle back there, and then you have Aiden Hutchinson and Carl Lawson getting rotated with Bryce Huff and whoever, now we're talking. Now we're talking about something. So I'd like to see a cornerback, but I really think that the safeties might be more important to this defense right now with the tight ends and the running back. That's how I feel. I could be off, but I think getting Hamilton and then getting a strong safety that can also cover type would be very beneficial.
Yeah, the safety area for me, because you're seeing these running backs come out of the backfield. You're seeing the tight ends. Those are the areas that we're getting hurt from, and a linebacker or a safety that can come up and play linebacker. And as screwy as it sounds, someone that fits the profile of a Jamal Adams with the coverage skills of someone else would be exactly what we're looking for right now, and it would be a shot in the arm. But that said, I'd rather have the 2 first-round picks and have whoever we're going to bring in and Elijah Vera Tucker right now. So
that's why I wanted Divine Diablo last year. I don't know how he's doing this year. But he was perfect for that. He could cover, he can catch, he can hit. Oh, I wanted him.
Our Muggs drops in with a super chat. He says, do you think Moore will save us a first or second round wide receiver in the draft for at least 5 years? I would say, if Moore plays well, it helps. I think Mims' development is more important as to whether or not we draft a wide receiver high again. Because I would say I don't think in the first or second round this year we take a wide receiver, but I could see next year if Mims doesn't pan out, then yes, regardless of how well, like Moore could be the best receiver in the game, I do think we'll still take a wide receiver in the first or second round next year if Mims doesn't pan out, especially depending on what happens with Crowder and Berrios.
Yeah, it's killing me. This Mims stuff bothers the living hell out of me, dude. It just does. Like, he happens to be a guy that I watched every single college snap. I read more articles. I watched more training tape on this guy, and I was blown away that we finally got this guy. And then when he was in the games last year, dude, he was great. He was coming along, and I don't get it. Like I don't get it, and it bothers me. And I hate to see us waste another pick when we have a guy here. But my honest feeling is, if they don't like him that much, trade him. Give the kid a chance at a career, and then at least you get the capital back, and you can use it on the receiver that you want. But I like what you said before. Like I think that even though we would be predicated on having like the shiftier guys, you still want that contested catch guy. You still want that guy in the end zone that can go up and get it. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'd like to see them be able to skip wide receiver like our Muggs is saying here. Like if we have the receivers, then we can pay attention to other positions and bring in premium prospects at that position. I'd rather see that, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely value in having like blue chipper wise, I'm not going wide receiver, but blue chip in the first, like at the beginning part of this round, I'm definitely looking edge rusher. Like even with Carl Lawson coming back, I know he says he's going to come back better and stronger. Everyone's going to say that. I love Carl Lawson. If there's someone that could work hard to come back better, it's probably him. But I do think that we have to come to the reality that the Achilles injury, that's a tough one to come back from, regardless of how passionately you feel about the edge rusher. I do think that we're going to deal with a little bit of headache there. And then, yeah, just guys that could stay and help your team long term, whatever that is. I think we spent 2 high picks on offensive linemen. That's why I kind of would like to go a different route in the top 10, maybe give a shot in the arm to part of the other team, or part of the rest of the team. But we'll see. We'll see. Guys, I haven't brought it up this entire stream, but we are doing a t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream. I've had Nightbot pick a few winners. Just a few of them. So right now I have Delusional Jets fan, Rusty Spooner, Hunter Smith, Raw Power, Johnny Bravo, B2B, is that 1 or I? 111079 have all been qualified. Make sure you hit that like button, and for every 25 likes, we're going to pick another qualifier in the stream. So make sure you do that, and we're going to pick that at the end of the show. And if you're watching this and you've somehow made it through the technical difficulties and and all the issues after the fact, after the stream is aired, just leave a comment on the video belowhand, and you'll be entered into next week's t-shirt giveaway. So yeah. There's all that good stuff. Let's see what else we got going on. Isaac says, do you guys think Becton will return this season? Greenby, what do you think about this? Do you think Becton returns this season, or you think he's donezo?
I don't know, man. What do we got? 5 games left. I think that he could come back. Maybe the last 3 games. I would prefer to see him come back, but not if he's like if he's like tender, then screw it, man. Just take the year away. Let him get up, let him get back 100%, and let's see him come out and dominate next year. I don't know. I'm really starting to think no, though, Ryan. I really am.
Yeah, dude, my gut feeling from, I would say, I don't know if it was last week's stream or the last like 2 weeks ago. I really feel like Becton is slow getting back because of his weight, and that's the issue. He's not in shape. Like his knee might be fine, but now he's got to get and deal with the conditioning and work back that way. And look, I think we want him long term, and this is a lost season. So why rush him back? I think we're both on board with that. Our buddy Mumtaz drops in with another super chat. Thank you, Mumtaz. He says, if offensive line is not our priority, we are mistaken. O-line, O-line, O-line. Just because I don't want offensive line in the first round doesn't mean I don't want offensive line. That's a very different thing, because you could definitely see, like, okay, we've got our top 2 picks at left tackle, left guard. McGovern's playing well right now. I would take a center in round 2 or round 3. I think you can either play that player at guard if we don't bring back LDT. I would expect Greg Van Roten to be cut at the end of this year. Right tackle is definitely an area of concern. I'm just not sure how I want to address it just yet, because Fant has played well. I don't know if Moses winds up coming back for another year. I'm sort of not huge on him, but he's remained healthy through the duration of his career, so I think that's probably an important part. Patrick Dunn! Patrick Dunn, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Jets Talk 24/7 family. I love you, Patrick Dunn. Boys and girls, drop your JETS in the chat. Welcome, Patrick Dunn, to the channel. Green Bean, your thoughts on offensive line from Mumtaz?
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it, man. Like, just because you don't want to use a first-round pick on offensive linemen doesn't mean in any capacity that you don't want to build the offensive line. Like, look, Joe Douglas has shown that that's his priority. He's brought in over 15 different offensive linemen in the 2 years that he's had the ability to bring players in. He used 2 first-round draft picks, one of which he traded 3 picks to move up and get. Sure, Becton got rolled on, and we're not seeing him, but he played at a Pro Bowl level his rookie year. He hasn't had one injury that's because of his weight. I know that's the narrative, and I know what you just said. I happen to disagree. When all the shit came out last year about his weight, his trainer released a picture and said, this is what he looks like right now. And the guy was ripped. And so I'm not buying all that. I haven't seen any proof that supports that, other than people just thinking it. I get why people think it, but I think that Becton's good. I think AVT is an absolute monster and might be the best guard we've had here since like Randy Thomas or Alan Faneca. But the thing is, like, I think traditionally you can get offensive linemen in the 2nd to 4th round that are 10-year starters. I mean, that's where offensive linemen traditionally go. It's a relatively new phenomenon that guards and centers are really considered in the first round. It would happen every so often, but it was kind of, you push those guys to the 2nd round, really. Most of the time there'd be like one guard taken in the first, and then they all went back to the 2nd through the 4th round. That's the hot spot for offensive linemen. There are so many good interior offensive linemen in this draft, whether you're talking about centers or guards. In the 3rd round, you're going to be able to get guys like Ed Ingram or Josh Sills from Oklahoma State. The guy's 6'5", like 350 pounds or something like that, and he's a guard. Like, these guys are going to be there. I think that we are seeing how badly the defense needs an influx of true talent, like premium talent. So I think that you use your first 2 picks on defense, and then you go to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and you get a couple offensive linemen. You grab a Jarrett Patterson, you grab an Ed Ingram, or if you go tackle, whatever. And I think that is addressing the offensive line. I think the Cam Clark thing really set us back. I loved Cam Clark, man, and I'm really hoping he has a career, but who knows with that spinal injury. But yeah, I think that the way you said it, Ryan, is perfect. And I think Joe Douglas has proven that he's committed to that. It hasn't all worked out, but I think he's shown that he's aware. Don't forget, in the 5 years previous, we've used 2 draft picks on offensive line, none of them higher than a 3rd round pick. In the 2 years that Joe Douglas has been here, we have 2 first-round pick offensive linemen and a 4th. So, I think Mumtaz is right, but again, it doesn't need to be a first.
The refs are blind. This is a great username to define our last game for sure. And I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But he says, has anyone heard anything about the kicking situation? We have brought back Matt Amendola to the practice squad as of today. We did not protect him. We protected. Oh God, who did we protect? We protected. God, I'm losing my train of thought. I read it today. We protected 2 players, neither of which was Zuniga. Zuniga, we did not protect. It was Dan Brown and.
Oh, good.
Oh God, who was the other one?
They love Dan Brown.
Jack can let us know. Dan Brown. Yeah, it was weird because like we don't have any tight end help. It's really just I think 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐫𝐢 is like the only healthy tight end right now. But we didn't protect the kicker. Either way, the kicking situation is bad. We have now had a total of 9 kickers over the course of the last 5 years, and that just cannot happen. That is not good. You're going through 2 kickers a year. Green Bean, you think we have a solution at kicker? We signed Eddie Pinheiro, or however you say his last name. You think he's the answer?
Well, if the last 6 kickers are any indicator, the answer is no. I wrote to him today. He said on Twitter, I doubt I'll get a reply. He said, I'm grateful to be here, whatever. And I said, oh, yeah? Well, listen, all we need you to do is one thing, okay? Whatever you think, just do the thing. Do the one thing, and we'll be fine. If you don't do the thing, you're not going to like us at all. I just want you to know that, okay?
He didn't respond to you yet?
Not yet. Maybe he will. It wasn't aggressive. I was just saying it like, dude, hey,
you're not
welcome
wrong.
aboard. Welcome aboard. We just need you to do the thing. That's it. Just do the one thing. So I really don't look like you know this, Ryan. As much as I'm a supporter of Joe Douglas and I like most of the moves, the kicker situation is one that I'm absolutely numb over. I don't understand what he's thinking with the kicker, and I didn't understand it the first year. Like, he's made me scratch my head from the minute that he started with kicker. I don't understand. My hope is that he finally realizes, like, okay, I'm going to have to use some draft capital, and he goes out and he gets the best kicker in the draft. And if he has to use a 5th on it, use a damn 5th on it, man. We can't go forward like this. So look, I'd love for this guy to be the next Nick Folk that we took off the scrap heap, or even Jason Myers was off the scrap heap. I hope this guy can be that guy. I have a hard time believing it's the case.
I see a few comments. Sign Matt O'Leary to kick for us. Has Matt done a kicking video yet?
He's gonna.
He's got it.
I think he's working on it.
Oh, good. I hope it's one of those, like, I hope you see him, like, kick the ball, but it goes, like, out of frame, and then you just see, like, a throw, like, go flying through the upright. Like, I think he could have a lot of fun making that kind of video. Boogie Down Bronx, thank you for the super chat. He donated $5. I don't see a question. Oh, wait, there it is. Hold on. Joe S., I'll get back to your comment in a second because I see some other comments from Boogie Down Bronx. So I just want to make sure I get... He says, hey, guys, not sure that Becton is better than the B. Than the B? Than the B, whatever that means.
The B.
The B.
The B bad. The B bomb.
It's the letter of today, the B. The other thing he said was, hey, guys, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Sorry. Here we go. Hey, guys, I'm not sure that Becton is better than DeBrickashaw Ferguson. That guy was a beast and never missed a game. I think he only missed half a game and his whole career. He started I think he's played every snap except for the one trick play snap, right? That's what his
he missed one snap in 10 years.
Yeah, look, if I had to take a tackle, it's Becton. I'm not taking Becton. I'm taking DeBrickashaw Ferguson over Becton every day, all day. Green Bean, your thoughts?
But let me remind you. And I'll remind this. I'm going to educate all of our Jets fans that are new here in the last decade, and I'm going to remind the fans that have been here for a long time. DeBrickashaw Ferguson was ripped and called a jag for his first 2.5 years that he was here. Okay. People said he sucked. He would never be a great left tackle. He's average at best. All this sort of stuff. It took him time to become DeBrickashaw Ferguson, to become a Pro Bowl player. I think his first year that he made the Pro Bowl, I think it was his 4th year. Correct me if I'm wrong, if it's 3rd or 5th, but it's something like that. The first 2 years, it's not to say he was bad, but he didn't look like he wasn't DeBrickashaw Ferguson yet. So, and that's what I'm trying to say with people. Like, we like to label these guys halfway through their first season or even their second season. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. Most of the time, most of these players need a minute to adjust to the NFL. And some guys that they shoot out of a rocket, 2 years later, you never hear from them again. So let's just give these guys our support and time. I think Becton is an absolute stud, and I'm just hoping that he comes back and gets to play with Elijah Vera Tucker. He's through the roof.
Fingers crossed. Joe S., we'll go back to your super chat. Yeah. Joe S. says, would you commit long-term to Quinnen Williams? I think I would. I would be fine given what we've seen so far from him, the way he's handled himself. I would commit to Quinnen Williams. Where is he at stat-wise right now? Oh, jeez. I love when you start typing something into an address bar and you just continue on with the link instead of deleting it. All right. Quinnen Williams stats for the season. What is he up to? He was on pace for like 11 or 12 sacks at one point. He is at, 6 sacks right now? 6 sacks. Look, I think he's going to get over 10 by the time this is all said and done. He's got, 5 more games? Is that right? What are we at? 3-9 puts us at, 5 more games. What about you, Greenbean? You think you're committing to Quinnen Williams? We are going to be able to re-sign him after this season.
Well, we'll be able to. So are you asking if we commit to him early?
Ooh, okay.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I think Quinnen Williams, like, here's the thing I like about Quinnen Williams. Number one, he's young too. It's his first year in this brand new defense. All that sort of, I know guys don't like to believe that that's real, but it's real. You know, he played for Greg Williams last year, where he was essentially a 2-gap. He was kind of like a zero tech in a lot of the way. He's playing nose tackle and all that. It's a totally different thing for him this year. Now, here's what I like about him. Although I am disappointed with some of his numbers, he knows how to come up big when you need him to come up big. He has a propensity to make the sack on 3rd and long or 4th down, or, create pressure in those situations. So that's what we call gamers. You know what I mean? Like Jamal Adams is a guy, he does get stats, but they're like 2nd down and 10. In the middle of the second quarter. It's like it's a good play, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just, okay, then now they go 3rd down and they get it. It's not a big deal. Quinnen Williams has that ability to kind of come up big when you need him to. So he is a player that I really like. And I think when you have to commit to him, when you have to make the choice, like, I think the first thing is going to be, do you take his 5th-year option? I think the answer is yes. And then during that 5th year, you try to negotiate with him. And I would say definitely try as best you can to keep him here. I wouldn't give him $21 million or anything like that. Like Leo Williams got $21 million. I think that's absurd. And I don't think I'd want to give Quinnen that much, but I like him. And I think he's a very good player to have on the team. And he's a leader too, man. He's vocal,
Yeah, I think this offseason is when I'd like to start negotiating with Quinnen, because I think that's good faith. Like, I think Douglas coming out and saying, hey, look, you are a piece of this team in the future. Let's start negotiating. Let's talk about it. What do you want? What do we want? Look, because we're looking to bring you in earlier and sign you long term, we are getting, the benefit to us is that your cap hit is spread out a little bit longer. You're getting more guaranteed money up front, rather than having to wait until you're in that 5th-year option. So we should be able to get him at a discount. And if he doesn't want to do it at a discount, just say, hey, look, I understand. We definitely think you're going to be worth it. We have no problem letting you wait. As of right now, if we're not going to get a discount, it doesn't make sense for us to extend you at this point in time, but we want you here long term. Like let's keep the conversation open. Like, this certainly doesn't close the door on a long-term extension, but, like, don't be asking for Aaron Donald money or Leonard Williams money. Because I do think that with Carl Lawson and potentially Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau coming out and joining this team, he's set for an explosive season next year, and we would do well to extend him early before he has that explosion. And I do think that means, when you see John Franklin Myers get signed, you see Quinnen Williams get signed, then I think you start seeing the other players like, hey, look, if I take care of my business, the Jets are going to hold on to me. And that's what I would like to see.
Totally. Now, what do you think? So JFM got 4 years, $13.5 million. What is it? 30 million guaranteed, I think.
Something like that.
So
yeah,
maybe Quinnen,
basically.
Right. So maybe Quinnen gets 17 million. You know what I mean? 16.5 million for 4 years with a little bit more guarantees or something like that. You know what I mean? 21, I don't know. I don't see that. Like the 20s, I don't think. But like you're saying, like, hey man, we can commit to you now. We'll give you, we'll front load it. We'll give you a nice bonus, the whole thing. Rather than make you wait, you'll get the guarantees sooner. And for that privilege, you give us a little bit of a discount. And if the relationship's good, a lot of guys do that. 17 million over 4 years. I think that would be good. But if not, like you said, I think you said it very well too. All right, then we're committed to you, but then we're not going to do it just yet. We're going to do it at the end of the 5th year.
Yeah, I just pulled up over the cap and interior defensive lineman contracts right now on an annual average salary. You got Aaron Donald at the top of the list, $22.5 million a year. Leonard Williams at number 2, $21 million. DeForest Buckner on the Colts, $21 million. Chris Jones on the Chiefs, $20 million. Jonathan Allen, Washington, $18 million. Then you have Kenny Clark, Fletcher Cox, and Grady Jarrett all sitting around 17 to 17.5 million. And then Cameron Hayward at 16, and then it kind of drops down to 14 after that to J.J. Watt. It seems like the young guys that are 28 years and under are all getting 17 plus million, and then Leonard, Buckner, and Jones are all 27 years old getting $21 million. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of, realizing what we could do. Like, hey, Quinnen, we love you. We want you here long term. Okay, you want a lot of money? You're playing your 4th year. Oh, you still want a lot of money? You're not going to give us a deal? All right, 5th year option. Oh, you're still kind of being a little bit, not a jerk, but you're like, oh, you still want more? Franchise tag. Oh, franchise tag it. Like, we can tag you twice before, like, anything happens, and you have no security. Like, that's the big issue. Like, hey, let's sign you and let it kind of, like, stretch out. Like, you get more guaranteed money now. You get the protection for 3-4 years. Call 4 years, whatever it is. I don't know. How much of signing a player do you think is them, like, hanging it up? Like, do you think that, like, having the leverage of, like, hey, you got to keep playing to get your contract?
I know.
Like, that's such a thing that I'm worried about. Like, being able to, I don't like holding that over a player's head because I know how I would feel if someone did that to me. And I mean, I would try like hell to play as hard as possible for that year. And I think that's probably the natural reaction, so you could cash in as much as possible the following year. But I think swallowing a little bit of pride and saying, hey, look, I know where I'm going to be for the next 4 or 5 years might be a little more important to some players. Greenby, do you have a particular stance on that?
I lost my train of thought with you.
Like
how much? Yeah.
Like,
No, I got it. It's not that I didn't listen to you. I had like an answer and I completely forgot it. But I think like here's the thing. This is why like I really do like the focus on high character guys. And when you say high character guys, it's not that they walk around in a suit and tie and they go, yes, ma'am. Like that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about guys that know how to deal with adversity, that guys that don't crumble and start crying and bitching about the coaches and all that when things go bad. So when you have guys like that, I think that they're less inclined to be susceptible to that as soon as they get paid. They just go, oh, I'm paid now. Now, it's not that it can't happen, but I think it's less of an issue than with guys like Trumaine Johnson, Jamal Adams, and on and on and on. You know, there are so many guys like that, that once you pay them, you have to worry. And so I think there's definitely some of that there. Like if you keep them, you like, and you like you call it dangling the carrot, right? You just dangle
Mm-hmm.
the carrot a few
Sure.
years, and they keep trying to go for that contract year kind of thing. With a guy like Quinnen, though, I wouldn't necessarily want to do that because then it starts to give players that bad taste. Like, look, this
Mm-hmm.
is a kid who works his ass off. He is effective, maybe not as much as we want him to be. Like we would love to see him get double-digit sacks this year. He's still got 5 games. Who knows? But he's come up. He's had some really big plays. He's a young guy, and so if you do that with him, like dangle it, trying to keep him going, on those contract years, I think that's where it could start to be a negative impact on those blue collar players. Like even when we are not blue collar, high character, even when we're the good guys, we never bitch and moan and complain. We still don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a negative. So you got to be real careful. Now I agreed with it for May. I
Mm-hmm.
did, especially the way his agent, all that sort of stuff. But I don't think you want to do that too much.
You hit the nail right on the head, and I was like, I'm a little disappointed you brought up May right now because I was like, oh man, that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say, oh yeah, I love what they did with May, and because of what they did with May, I think it's more important that you sign Quinnen to kind of not necessarily more important, but I think signing John Franklin Myers and seeing like, hey, look, this guy's playing. Like, we'll sign you mid-season if you're doing what you're supposed to do. And Quinnen, I think, being the pro that he has been the last 3 years or last 2.5 years, I think negotiating with him at the very least and saying like, hey, look, we're open it up to the press and say, hey, look, we're negotiating with Quinnen Williams. We're trying to work on a long-term extension. I think that is the good type of press that could be had within the Jets organization, and really, it doesn't like Quinnen is not a Douglas pick, but I do think that Saleh and Douglas value that defensive lineman,
Yeah.
At that spot, and I don't know if maybe Douglas would have made that particular pick at 3, but I think now that he has him on the team, I think both guys really like him, and I think they want to keep him happy along with the rest of the team, and I think that's just how you do it is negotiate.
Yeah, I think Quinnen is the one guy. I mean, like you
Mhm.
can make a case for Fadukasi,
Sure.
and May for that matter, but I think Quinnen Williams is the one guy from the Mac era that I think fits with what you would label a Joe Douglas type, a Robert Saleh type, as best as
Mhm.
we can tell. I think Quinnen's the one guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think you kind of let like Foley. I think is definitely gone. I don't think we renegotiate with him, especially since we have Quinnen under contract right now, and we just signed John Franklin Myers. You got Lawson coming back. Like it's just kind of a crowded room. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Shaq Lawson because you can cut him and save $9 million next year. And on face value, I'm probably saying, hey, look, I'm cutting him and moving on. But at the same time, if he says, hey, look, renegotiate, he'll take $4 million. Like, yeah, I'm 100% for that. I don't know what his open market value would be. Like, he may be more open to being cut than renegotiating and hitting free agency. How do you feel about some of our other pieces, like aside from Quinnen? And then we'll get to Marcus Metcalf's super chat.
Wait, but which guys? How do I feel
Like Foley
about?
Fatukasi, Shaq Lawson, Sheldon Rankins, like some of those other guys on the line. Like I think Nathan Shepard's definitely gone, but aside from those
Yeah.
guys, yeah.
Yeah, I think Fadukasi's an interesting one. It's all going to depend on what he wants. I mean, for the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season, he was the number one run defender in the entire NFL. The last
Mm-hmm.
few weeks, we have gotten gashed, and he's done, 2 clicks from nothing. So I don't know. I think his value has diminished. So whether or not, like, if they can sign him and he's like, hey, I'll take a reasonable contract, he's a guy you want to keep around. I mean, he's a very good football player. He's very, he's a good guy as well. But I don't think Joe Douglas is going to break the bank. I think Nathan Shepard is a goner. I think that's he's one of those guys that we drafted Jonathan Marshall to kind of be in the house and replace.
Mm-hmm.
But Foley Fatukasi is interesting. I think it'd go either way. And I don't know. Sheldon Rankins hasn't done enough for me to really, but he's on a 2-year contract. The
Mm-hmm.
Lawson one's interesting because he's not guaranteed. So I
Mm-hmm.
think, I think you have a good a good case there. If he comes back and says, "Hey, man, I'd rather just stay here. I like the team. I like the coaching. I know it's been bad, but I'll take $5 million a year." He might be a guy you want to keep around and keep part of the rotation. He plays hard. You know, he's not necessarily a great pass rusher. He's had his moments, but I think he's a good guy to have around, but for the right price.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Berg. Marcus Metcalf says, as an Arkansas native and Razorback fan, Ricky Stromberg as day 2 pick would be great. I'll be honest, no idea who it is. Offensive lineman. Let's see. What position does he play on the offensive line? That's what I want to know.
I know the name. Hold on, I'll look at him real quick because I can't put it all together yet. The Arkansas Razorbacks. Admittedly, I'm not all over them.
No, definitely not. It just says O-line when I look at his thing. Let
me see. Hold on. Let me see.
Chat,
here.
give us some info on it. I know you guys are quick with the keyboards right now. I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff.
Center. I'm looking through the guards. Hold on.
Center. Yeah. Yeah, actually, now that I'm looking at it, he's
so.
definitely. All right. 6'4", 310-pound center. Without watching any kind of tape or anything like that. If our buddy, love him, love the position, absolutely love it. No, look.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this, Ryan. Before you answer, he's rated the 5th center on Draft Tech's overall board. He's rated their 148th overall player. Ooh, so that's like that could be anywhere from a 3rd to 5th round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. So Marcus says a day 2 pick would be great. So that's 2nd, 3rd round. So if Draft Tech is right, you're probably looking 3rd round. And we have what? 2 first, 2 second. Do we have 1 third and 2 fourths? Is that how it goes?
1 third, 2 fourths, 2 fifths.
So maybe you pull the trigger in the 3rd, or your first pick in the 4th. It's gonna be interesting to see how.
I'd rather Jarrett Patterson in the 2nd. Like I think he's a better player. I mean, again, I'm not going to pretend to know about all that much about Stromberg, but I do love Jarrett Patterson. Love him.
What else? Rockaway Archie. I'm just catching up on some stuff. Rockaway Archie says, "Oh hey, hold up. Sorry, I'm late. Can you start from the beginning?" Oh yeah. Sorry. The whole like. Matt being gone for a little bit and like popping in and out, freezing. You missed a whole lot, Rockaway Archie. Gonna have to go back and watch it over. But if you are just popping in, make sure you hit that like button. As far as our qualifiers for the t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream, we got about 17 minutes left, so make sure you hit that like button and we'll keep picking qualifiers. We got Delusional Jets fan, Rusty Spooner, Hunter Smith, Raw Power, Johnny Bravo, B2B 111079, and Jets Forever. You guys are all qualified for a t-shirt giveaway. 10 more likes, we give away another, or not give away, we get another qualifier. Just make sure you slam that like button. Always good. NFL Chaos with Jeremy says, Wolfpack. That is. Yeah, have you ever seen The Hangover, Green Bean? You had to have, right?
Did I see what? The Hangover? Yeah, only the first one, though.
Oh, that's fine. That's all you needed to know this joke. That's our Wolfpack.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
It's fantastic.
Wolfpack, yeah.
Adam S. says, I can't wait until the draft and Green Bean freaks out when the Jets draft a defensive lineman. If the Jets take a D lineman in the first round, aside from an edge rusher,
no.
God, it's going to be a short stream. Or it's going to be a long stream of us yelling. I would be very upset if we took like a D tackle or something.
Yeah, well, you know what? And admittedly, that's a major part of the reason that Joe Douglas is so refreshing to me. He seems to understand. Like, you might not like each player, and I don't. Sure. I still don't like the Pinnock pick. I was hoping for other players than we got in the later rounds and stuff, but it still makes sense. Like, I got into a discussion today about taking Trey Smith over some of the guys that we took. And it's like, at that time, you have to remember, we had 3 guys battling for the right guard spot, and we had AVT for the left guard spot. Like, taking an offensive lineman over those cornerbacks didn't really make sense, even though I could have got on board with that. And I like Trey Smith. we didn't have any cornerbacks. So bringing in a few cornerbacks made a ton of sense. It made sense. Maccagnan's drafts, dude, they were complete hodgepodge. Every single one of them. That last draft, when I was blaming Bowles all those years for Maccagnan's draft, I was convinced that they were Bowles players, guys like Darren Lee taking 2 safeties like Jamal and May in the first 2 rounds. I thought that had Bowles fingerprints all over it. When Maccagnan had his first draft without Bowles, I thought it was going to be a great draft, and it was the worst of all of them. It made 0 sense to me. And that's the thing. So when you see a guy like Joe Douglas come in and go, okay, I need a left tackle, I need a wide receiver, I need an edge rusher, I need a safety. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it came through. I need another lineman in the 4th round. Like, it made sense to me. And last year made sense to me too. So I struggle to worry about us taking a defensive tackle in the first. If we do, I'm going to be unhappy. Let me say that.
Rusty Spooner says, "Don't get roofied by Jeremy, guys. LMFAO." Jeremy, are you gonna slip some roofies? I don't know why they call them roofies. When you take them, you wind up on the floor instead of the roof. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love movie quotes. John Post drops in, says, "Good call, Ryan. On the Shaq Lawson contract, his over-the-cap valuation is between $4 and $5 million." I did not look that up. I just purely said if we could get him for $4 million, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Right.
That was more so me cutting his contract in half without trying to spit in his face. But we'll see.
Well, look, you nailed it.
God, I'm so good.
You're good.
Big Green says, "I want to see Becton and AVT manhandle people." Yeah, we all do. There's nothing better than watching Becton just throw people around. And I'm kind of thinking about going back and rewatching all the games and putting together a AVT highlight tape. It's probably going to be a little tough because I'd have to go back and look at literally every snap of this guy playing. But I could probably find some pretty good ones that we could make something good there. Man, it would have been nice to have seen them together at any point.
I know. Well, dude, you heard me say it the fucking day that they came out with that interview. Yep. We're the Smash Bros. I made a whole video on it. This is the kiss of death. We should have never said that. And we have never seen them together. We had that first 2 quarters or whatever it was, week 1, and that's been it. I can't believe I was
snaps.
So right.
Yeah, I think it was 48 snaps from Becton. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure AVT has not missed a snap all season. I think that's where it's at. I think he has played every single snap. This entire offensive line has actually been pretty good as far as staying on the field. I think Fant hasn't. I mean, I guess he got hurt for a little bit because Udoka came in for that bit, but I don't think Moses has missed any time. Or did Fant start? Who started at the beginning of the season? Was it Fant or Moses? I think it was Fant that started.
No, it was Fant. Remember, they didn't announce it to the
right.
day of.
That's right. And we were confused why Moses didn't start. Is that how that went?
My wife's laughing at me for some reason. What happened? What did I say? I can't believe I was so right. She came all the way out here to say, "Listen to you."
She's like, "You smug son of a batch."
I know you. Can't believe I married you.
It's like, oh God,
gross.
you can't understand it. I'm hearing Becca stomp around downstairs. I don't know if she's listening. Sometimes I wonder if she's paying attention. She's gonna pop in the door and be like, "Hey, shut up! Stop talking stupid stuff."
Yeah. Stop talking. You sound like an asshole. I can't listen to you. I can't be married to you if you keep this up.
Yeah, right. Rusty Spooner says, "Flories." More hangover jokes. Silas Jones says, "I don't know why so many Jet fans want Linderbaum in the first. Do we need a center? Yes, do we have bigger needs? Yes, also taking offense early the last 2 years is why defense has been so bad. We need defense." Silas, that's where I think Green Bean and I think we're both on that same kind of wavelength. As much as I love Linderbaum, I very much think the value is better taking a second-round center and taking a first-round insert almost any other position. I don't want to say almost any other, but I want edge rusher, and I think safety plus the second-round center versus like the first round center and second round safety, I think we're better with the higher safety and the lower center. Does that make sense, Green Bean?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, and I think that Silas Jones is saying it right. Like, I don't know what everybody's talking about. Like, we have a center that's playing well. Now, granted, earlier in the season he had a rocky start, but again, I think people discount that we just installed a brand new system. The offensive line literally never played together before. And so we're seeing all that. Like, that's what we're watching. Like, what we really want to do is keep these guys together. That's what we really want to do. If you have a weak link like GVR, you want to fix that weak link and stuff like that. But you want to keep the core together. Connor McGovern is playing well. And he's probably going to continue to improve when you get better guys, like a better right guard next to him. So as much as I like Linderbaum, like he's a great player, I struggle to think that he's a need as well. Like, I'd like to get a center to play behind Connor McGovern for a year, somebody that you put there and develop, and then he comes in when Connor McGovern's contract is up and things like that, So that's why I would really look. I wouldn't be upset because then you could move McGovern over to guard and then you fix two with one stone. That's a theory. I wouldn't be upset. At the same time, I really struggle to think that's where we need to use. This is our last year with 2 firsts. We need to fix some stuff with those premium capital, with those premium picks, and we have a center that's, let's just say, above average.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as much as like McGovern has kind of caused me some fits over the last year and a half, the right guard position is far more important in my mind right now, and I think if LDT can provide value there, I mean, obviously he's a free agent after the season. Have you seen anything on his injury? I knew it was an ankle. It didn't seem like it was very major, but I don't know where he's at. Have you seen anything?
On who?
LDT, our right guard.
No, I've seen nothing. Why? I was asking that earlier today. Nobody knows anything. Why don't we know about Dr. Blocker?
Dude, Dr. Blocker. Why have you been calling him that this whole time and I have not had any idea that this was going on?
Yeah, somebody said it in the live stream during the game. I was like, "Ooh, that's good.
That's a
Dr.
good
Blocker.
one. That's
Isn't
a
that
good one. This is our chat comes up with some of the best stuff. Freezebean.
Hell yeah.
Freezebean, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that was you, me, or Matt. I'm pretty sure that was the chat that came up with Freezebean.
The chat. Oh yeah, the chat did Freezebean all day. That wasn't
our chat
us.
is just incredible.
I'm telling you, that's what I write. We say it all the time. Like, these are the best chats. Like, look, I watch other live streams and stuff, whether it's, ancient secret history or whatever it is. Their chats don't hold a candle to our chats. They don't even touch them.
Well, it feels like way more of a community. We see the same guys in the chat. Big Green's in there, Tony G, Ant Jets,
Hell
Adam
yeah.
S, Irish Liberal Irishman. You got Matt Curtis, Mumtaz, like
Liberal Irishman. Liberal Irishman says Freezebeam was him.
Oh man, see, Liberal Irishman. See, you legitimately got us to come up with an emoji specifically for the comment you made. See how good that is? If you guys ever have any recommendations on an emoji and you want me to add, it doesn't take me all that long to do different things, and I'm all about doing that. But we have some of like the best people in this chat, and I really enjoy it. It's actually what kept me sane throughout the quarantine period last year. I was able to talk to everyone and see everyone there. John Hepburn jumps in and he says, I love Carter, the running back, but he's kind of small. I don't see him getting that 1 yard in the trenches. What do you think? I don't know. I would like a bruiser that we could just throw back there and take the punishment instead of Michael Carter. I think that's more so where I am. Like, I think Carter can get the tough yard. I really do. I want to say he has some of the best runs after contact. Like, this guy is a violent runner. Tevin Coleman, I don't know if you knew this, Green Bean. I didn't realize Tevin Coleman was as violent of a runner as he is. Like, he took a big-time shot in this last game and just, like, kept on going. So, like, I guess in terms of bruiser, I would prefer a different back to Carter taking that hit but I do think Carter can get that tough yard if he has to. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I've always liked Tevin Coleman. I just think the problem with him in my eyes is that
So I'm talking I'm saying Carter can get the hit. I do like Coleman a lot. And I like the hit that he took.
Coleman.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm going back and forth on the two. I think Carter can basically I think he can take the hit. I think he can get the yard. But I would like to bring in another back to take the punishment instead of, having Carter take all those big hits.
Yeah. That makes a ton of sense. But look, I don't know why this coaching staff won't even use a guy that we have on the roster that fits that exact bill. They won't do it. They will not put 𝐒𝐿 𝐫𝐈RYNE in. They will not put Denzel Mims in unless they absolutely have to. Denzel Mims came in one play. He had that stupid ass penalty, which was a dumb penalty. Didn't even make sense. And they take him out for 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 plays. And it's like, what do you expect this? You got to put these guys in. Why won't they put 𝐫𝐈RYNE in to do exactly what you're saying? What the hell's Austin Walter? What is this? You know what I mean? So these are the problems I have with the staff. And I chalk it down to inexperience. They think they know more than they know. That's what I think. And they're learning on the job. But I think you're exactly right, man. You want to have that feature back and the guy to come in, get the tough yards on fresh legs, and to absorb some of the punishment so your premier back, for lack of a better term, doesn't have to weather all of it.
Raw Power says, I need a Jets green bean Christmas gnome. Green bean? I don't know if you've ever been the Travelocity gnome for Halloween, but you could definitely be the Travelocity gnome.
Dude, I should make a green bean gnome.
It would be fantastic. There's got to be custom green bean gnome. Maybe we'll do that. But you've already got an emoji. You've got the freeze bean. Got to come up with something from Matt. We had a great gift from Matt, and it was fantastic. But for some reason, YouTube lets you. Oh, dude, YouTube lets you upload a GIF to the emojis, and it does the motion and everything. But then when you go to use it in the chat, it doesn't work. And I was like, oh no! We had Matt. I was like, Matt, send me a video of you going like this, just shaking his head. It was great, absolutely great, and we couldn't use it. Made me bad. Rusty Spooner says, Matty Poppins. Please make it happen.
Ooh,
I don't know how to make a Matty Poppins. How do you make a Matty Poppins emoji?
You put an umbrella over his head. You put a bonnet on him and a little umbrella over his head.
That might take me a little more time than I had initially thought. But man,
it's outside of your normal purview.
Oh, dude, that is an outside the box kind of thinking. I like that. All right, so we are towards the end of our stream. So, Green Bean, I'm going to have you go up and pull up last week's live stream and give me 5 names. I'm going to pick another qualifier over here.
Right, hold on here, mama. Let me see.
Nightbot's been a little bit slow on the uptick tonight. So I'm gonna throw some of this. Guys, drop some likes on here. If we can get up to 200, I'll do another one too. Oh, Green Bean Jets fan. Look, you've been qualified for for a t-shirt. This happens more frequently than not.
Yeah, I got it last week too. I want a Wall Street Wilson. That's what I want.
Liam says, when would you use a Matty Poppins emote? I guess that's probably the point, right? There's no real rationale for when we would use it. There's so many emojis that I've come up with and thrown on here that we just have not used. Billy McLean says, one for Becca. I could definitely do that, but I don't think she would approve of that. I don't know what it would be.
No.
Isaac said, I just noticed this emoji. Isaac just did the Joe Douglas one with the middle fingers up in the air. He said, I just noticed that. That's really funny. Billy McLean. Billy McLean said, just subscribed at Nightbot. Oh, don't worry, Billy McLean. You are qualified for the t-shirt. For some reason, Nightbot only likes to say if you are subscribed to a Twitch channel. But everyone's there. It's cool.
Yeah.
Rusty Spooner says,
all right, so you want the top? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm going on and on. Sorry. Okay. Ethan, I think it's
top
Ethan.
5.
EITAN, whatever that is, Richter. All right, so here are my qualifiers right now. So I got Delusional Jets fan, Rusty Spooner, Hunter Smith, Raw Power, Johnny Bravo, B2B111079, Jets Forever, Ant Jets 82, Billy McLean, Ethan Ritter, however you say EITAN. Now shoot, what do we got? 5 names.
All right, I'm gonna give you the top 5. So it's Gitmo Bob.
Ooh,
He's in the chat tonight.
I like that.
We have Neil Shah, SHAH.
Okay.
Tony G, who's also in the chat tonight.
I've seen that name pop up a bunch of times. I like that.
Right. You're gonna like this one. The refs are blind.
Ooh,
He's in the
hold
chat.
on. Watch this. So I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. Eaton Ritter says it's pronounced Atan. But no worries, Ryan. Atan Richter. There you go. See, I pronounced it wrong, so I could pronounce it right. That was the whole idea there. Okay.
Right.
Sorry, I got Gitmo Bob, Neil Shaw, Tony G. 2 more.
The refs are blind.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. He's in the chat too. So
Yep.
3 of these guys are confirmed in the chat. And the last one is John P.
John.
I feel like I may have seen him. I'm not sure.
All right. Our buddy Big Green says you got to break out the pilot hat. So from now on, I'm just going to wear the pilot hat every time we do this T-shirt giveaway. Because
There you go.
I don't wear it enough, and I really like it. All right, so we got a whole laundry
best.
list of names right here. Well, bam! On the sticky note. You ready, Green Bean? Gonna do some odds or evens. You let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. All right, we're going odds. Gone. Ooh. Okay, 3, 2, 1. You love how I do like the sound effect? Comes up real fast.
Yeah, it works for me. I like
Right?
it.
We're evens. What do we got? Bam. Ooh, okay. I gotta warm up the fingers. All right, 3, 2, 1. See, look at that go. See what that 1, 2, 3, 4,
double,
4. Ooh,
yeah.
ooh, even. See, I was even confusing myself. Oh no.
Right.
Oh no. Okay, we're down to 2. So chat, we're gonna need your help. The first number that pops up, we're gonna do that plus whatever Green Bean and I threw up. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got 3. What's the first number? Oh, we got a 1. Mikey Mouse. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. Rusty Spooner, brother. Make sure you reach out to me on Gmail or whatever. Let's get you a shirt. Get you a T-shirt.
Nice.
I'm so excited. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Gitmo Bob says, Ryan needs some green Jets goggles. I should just frost these over with green. I won't be able to see. Or maybe I'll pop them out. I'll get some like Oakley's. I'll reach out to Oakley. I'll be like, yo, I need some custom lenses in my pilot goggles. I don't even know if these can come out. I don't think they come out. All right, Green Bean, any last words for... Oh, Raw Power says, Ryan looks like the weird kid from Christmas Story. Screw you, Raw Power.
He does. Yeah, but
Screw
that
you.
kid was cool.
Oh, I hate the Christmas Story, dude. For whatever reason, that's like one of my least favorite friggin' shows. Sorry,
Oh, I love it,
dude. I
love
can't
that
stand it.
movie.
It's like
To watch
you're
it.
gonna shoot your eye out. Like I don't know. I just the bunny thing, the lamp with the leg. I don't know. Not my thing,
Dude,
Not
my father-in-law has that lamp, the leg lamp, in his front window.
I love it.
I think it's great. So a couple things. One is we're having the contest on my channel. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subs before the end of my first year on YouTube. All you have to do to enter is to subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my other channel, Full-Time Coaster Tour. Once you do that, you're entered. You can win Manscaped stuff, T-shirts from the Green Bean Jets fan merch store. So if you haven't subbed, now is the best time to do so. Also, we're going to be following this up at 10:30 on Green Bean Jets fans YouTube channel for the After Hours Jets Fest, about an hour and a half or so of extra Jets talk. So come on over and hang.
I love it. And I see some guys in the chat talking about the best Christmas movie. JW saying best Christmas movie is Die Hard, and we can get into this next week or the week after, leading up to Christmas. But is Die Hard a Christmas movie? We'll figure it out. We'll get into it. But boys, it has been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday night, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. My name's Ryan. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.